So we are continuing with the correction of sentences. The first sentence, that is error finding in competitive English. The first sentence is, as soon as the clock strike 5, they down tool and off they go. As soon as the clock strikes 5, they down their tool and they go. Actually what happens in this simple present tense, in singular case, V5 will be used. Like as soon as the clock strikes, the children attend their prayer. As soon as the bus arrives, the passengers get into it. As soon as the train arrives, the passengers board the train or get into it. As soon as the principal arrives, he addresses the gathering. As soon as the chief minister arrives, he addresses the parliament. Like that. As soon as the president arrives, he addresses the. So simple present will always be followed by simple present, either or by simple future. Second sentence was, had he realized that it was such a long way, he would take a taxi. Actually, he would be replaced by he would have taken. Because whenever you have past perfect tense, it will be followed by subject plus would, could, should plus have plus V3 plus subject plus complement. So, had he realized that it was such a long way, yes, he would have taken a taxi. So, like, had he realized that he was careless, he would have corrected himself. Had she reached the station in time, she would have got the train. Had the child worked hard, he would have got first position. Like that. Always, the future perfect and past perfect go together. Like, had it rained in time, the crops would not have faded. Had it happened in time, the things would have, well, had COVID not struck the world, the things would have been normal. Had COVID not, struck the, country, or our, yes, the educational institution would not have suffered. Had COVID-19 not affected the people, the country would have really progressed. So, this is what we call introspection and regret, rather, we can say. Next question was that the manager called the clerk and said whether he was in the habit of sleeping at home as well. So, whether is always preceded by asked. Like, I asked whether you are going to attend the show or not. I asked the child whether he understood the lesson or not. The principal asked the teachers whether they taught the children very well. The principal asked or wanted to know whether the course was complete. I asked the child whether he understood everything well. So asked is always followed by whether or whether or if. We never use said. So replace said by asked. Okay. Then the eminent speaker's speech was broadcasted over all the major radio stations. The word should be broadcast. See, the word broadcast, telecast, they have the V3 form in passive form, the same word. Like the speech of the president was broadcast over all the major radio stations. And telecast is live as well, audio as well, visual. The show was telecast all over the channels. The show was telecast. It is not telecasted. Telecast. V3 of telecast is, so cast का V3 cast ही होता है. Like the iron was cast into iron steel or mixed steel. Iron was cast along with other metal. Iron was cast into other material. Like that. Cast is always having V3, cast itself. So, broadcast, telecast will take the same form in V3 form. So, and then we will have the eminent speaker's speech was broadcast. It will not be broadcasted. The program was telecast, not telecasted. These verbs in V3 form also, they have the same form. Now some more typical words and sentences. Remember, usually always comes in the simple present tense. Like, she usually attends her class in time. The article should not exceed more than. Exceed is always means more than. So why should you write more along with exceed? Simply write the article should not exceed 100 words. Never write exceed more than, because exceed and more than are superfluous words. They have the same meaning. So never use superfluous words. Always say that your writing should not exceed 100 words. Otherwise, remove exceed and write that your article should consist of 100 words. It should not consist of more than 100 words. Exceed means already consist of. Therefore, there is no need to write more than. He may be poor now, but he appears to be rich. Change to be rich into to have been. Because this is something which appears to be true. He may be poor now, but he appears to have been rich. To have been rich is the right answer. No sooner had she heard the news when she fainted. Actually, no sooner is always followed by than. No sooner had I reached the station than the train arrived. Scarcely is followed by when. Like scarcely had I reached the station. And remember, in no sooner, hardly, and scarcely, auxiliary will be first, then subject, then V3. Like scarcely had I reached the station when the train arrived. Hardly had I reached the station when the train arrived. Scarcely when, hardly when, and no sooner than. No sooner had I reached the station when the train arrived. The meaning is similar, but it is in negative form. No sooner had I reached the station than the train arrived. So no sooner is followed by than, and it will be in past perfect form. And then after that, than will be there with no sooner, and with the as soon as there will be comma, and with the scarcely and hardly there will be when. And the last question, the sentence is like that. The most serious problem in India, corruption is the most serious problem in India. That the sentence has to be corruption is the most serious concern in India. It is similar. And the last question, the postman comes twice a day, don't he? There it will be doesn't he. The postman comes twice a day, doesn't he? Because postman is third person singular. So in question tag, it will be just the same. I mean V5, if it is V5, then it will be doesn't. If it is V1, then it will be don't. So as we are using V5, so there will be doesn't he? The postman comes twice a day, doesn't he? So that is the way we have discussed some of the questions in the grammar in error and correction. Thank you. Have a nice day.